And what's up, YouTube? We are here today continuing our beginner series, new to PoE series. So if you are just getting started in Path of Exile, today we are covering the stash tabs that are available for purchase in the game. Now, PoE starts out as you are playing the game. You're going to play through the very first encounter, kill the very first boss, and come to the very first town, which is called Lion Eyes Watch. You're going to meet the very first NPCs. I've got a level 2 character here that I'm showing you. This is exactly what your experience is like the very first time you play the game. And you go in and you first interact with your stash, and at first you just have these blank stash tabs. That's what you get. They're just blank. You can't really do much with them. You can't list items for sale on the PoE trade sites. You can't organize them very well. They're just there. They're just squares that you can drop items into and store them in, and that's great. But wouldn't it be nice if there was a way to organize your wonderful loot and all of your hoarding in a better way? Well, there is. So Path of Exile, thankfully, is not a pay-to-win game, but there are some pay-to-improve quality of life things, and stash tabs are the biggest way to do that. So we're going to chat about each of these little packages and what it looks like in-game blank, as well as in-game when there's actually items in it. So first off, premium stash tab bundles. So what premium stash tabs do is they allow you to change the color and the name and also list the stash tab publicly, which you can see here. So you can simply right-click on a stash tab and you can change the name of it, you can change the color of it. There's so much that you can change when you have a private or a public listed tab. It's really great because, let's say, for instance, you want a tab for just leveling characters. You can rename it leveling stuff. And you can say, I'm going to mark this beige just so that way I know this is my leveling stuff. But then let's say you've got endgame rings that are really, really awesome, that you want to denote are awesome, that you want to show off that are awesome. Well, there you go. Awesome rings. We've now got a tab for awesome rings. That feature is available through the premium stash tab. Now, the map stash tab is also great. It allows you to hold maps. So when you get to the end game, you are eventually going to have maps that you collect. That's the end game of Path of Exile. And there's the one way to do it, which is simply throw them all into a tab. But there's this wonderful, helpful tab, specialized tab, that is available that will actually throw each different map in its own tab. These are actually different tabs as I'm selecting these different maps, and we'll see what that looks like when it's actually filled here in a minute. So each tier is customized, and it's got each map on its own set up. So that way, if you ever want to index, so let's say you're searching for a particular map, it's going to show you. It's also going to show you whether or not the map has been completed on your atlas for the bonus atlas objective. And there's even a tab for unique maps as well. So not just for all of the tiers 1 through 16, but also for the unique maps, which is really great. It's a wonderful quality of life item. Again, you don't need to buy it, but it's a wonderful quality of life item that you can simply throw everything over into your map tab. Now, the currency stash tab. This is another great purchase, especially if you want to do trading. For me, this was the very first thing that I went out and got, just because organizing all of the different orbs and currency that are available in Path of Exile, incredibly difficult if you don't have this. I find just organizing and following, hey, where did I put my chromatics? Where did I put my fusings? Where did I put my jewelers? Hey, where's that chaos that I wanted to make this trade? All of that can happen, and all of it gets stored in its own slot. Each of these slots can hold up to 5,000 currency. So unless you're planning on, hanging on to 5,000 of one particular currency, each of these slots will do you just fine. And then there are additional slots down here at the bottom that you can actually throw additional things into, which is also great. So that is the currency stash tab. Lastly, there is the premium quad stash tab, which is just great. It is a massive stash tab. Let's take a look here. Where did it go? It's a 6x is what they call it. So you look at what a normal stash tab holds versus a 6x stash tab. It is massive. I used to use one of these as my dump tabs for when I was mapping, and I just had a bunch of stuff, bunch of gear that I didn't want to sort immediately, and I threw it all into one stash tab. It was great because essentially then when you have time and you want to sort through stuff and sort through your loot and what'd you get that was good, you can just go back in and sort through rows and rows and rows of items, as opposed to a few dozen items here or there, which is great. All right, the next couple of stash tabs that we're going to take a look at are also customized stash tabs. So we're going to take a look at the Essence Stash tab. The Essence Stash tab, the Essence League was a great league. It happened a couple of years ago, and the Essence League essentially revolved around these essences that you could find and, of course, craft with, and craft different levels of gear. So you could do it from a very early stage. You could find an essence and start crafting your gear. This is what the Essence Currency tab looks like. Every single one of these slots is meant for a different essence, and these essences have different tiers, and they tier up on the left-hand side of the currency stash tab. So on the left-hand side of this, they tier up going from right to left, whereas on the right-hand side, they tier up going left to right. That's a little minor annoyance there, but it is what it is. It also includes 3 extra bonus tabs, so if you've got extras of something that you need to hold on to, there are 3 bonus tabs or bonus slots here. And then the other nice feature about this, and again we'll take a look at this, what it looks like when it's full, but the other nice feature is the upgrade button. So when you select this, it's going to show you all of the different essences that you can actually upgrade in the moment, because these essences, when you've got 3 of one type of essence, they upgrade to the next tier, which is really nice. And you don't have to actually look and go, hey, which of these do I need to upgrade? You can simply click upgrade and then select which ones need to be upgraded. All right, we've got a couple more that we're going to look at. The next one is the Divination Stash tab. The Divination Stash tab. So Divination cards are awesome. They drop all over the place in Raid class as you're playing through Path of Exile. And the Card Stash tab, the Divination Stash tab, basically it shows you a scalable, customizable, sortable deck book that you can look through and sort through for all of the different divination cards that you've got. Now right now I've got it sorted to show all, so this just shows every single divination card in the game has got a slot inside this book. Now, as you find these divination cards, you can sort by full stacks. So in other words, if you've got a full stack of divination cards that are ready to be turned in to, say, Tasuni in Act 4 or Nessa, then you can simply select that. Obviously, it's empty right now, so that's why there's no full stacks here, but we'll see what that looks like here in a bit. You can also sort by simply cards that you own, and then also sort by cards that you don't own. So if you're going for a complete collector's edition, and you want every single card in the game, you can sort by what you have left to get. All right, we've got one more stash tab that we're going to look at. Then we're going to look at what the stash tabs look like with stuff in them, and it is the Fragment stash tab. The Fragment stash tab can hold, again, 5,000 of everything from your account, and it's great. It holds a bunch of different things. So Breach League introduced Breach Fragments, as well as these Breach Lord crystals that you can use to augment or to change the items that you find off of Breach Lords. They've also got the 4 squares. These 4 squares up in the top left are for regular Adziri. The 4 squares on the top right are for Uber Adziri. The Divine Vessel is here. That got added with 3.0 when they added Acts 5 through 10, which are great. You can use those to capture the souls of minor and major gods. On the bottom right, you've got your Shaper set. So if you're planning on running Shaper, you can put Shaper pieces here. That's where those get stored. And then you've got the Pale Council set that is also down here on the left. And then lastly, in the middle, you've got your Offering of the Goddess, which is a currency that you use in order to enter into the Uber Labyrinth, or the last labyrinth, the Uber Labyrinth, the last one, to get your final couple of ascendancy points and to farm Uber Izaro. So there you go. That's what each of the stash tabs look like. Now let's go ahead and take a look at what they look like in game. So let's jump over to standard, jump onto my PvP character so we can jump directly into our hideout, and let's go take a look. What do each of these stash tabs look like in action? So very first off, right away, I've got my currency stash tab. I always name it money because that's where the money goes. So this is what it looks like. It's beautiful. You can throw whatever kind of currency in here. I've got some nets in here because nets obviously didn't get added to the game from Bestiary, but if GGG ever releases currency or little fragments of things that isn't going to have a customized spot, you can throw it in these extra spots that are down here, which is great. You've got your Fragment tab. This is what a Fragment tab looks like. Got some pieces here for a run for Shaper. Got some offerings here. Got some Pale Council. This is what the Breach Stones look like along with Breach Fragments. What your Map tab looks like. Now this is by far, again, like this and currency are, in my estimation, by far, if you play a character long enough to go into mapping, like this is the best value. So what you can do is you can simply look at each of these maps and each of these tiers and look and select each of them. It's going to show you in the top left exactly how many of that particular map you own. and then whether or not you've got map completion for it underneath it. Now, right now, this is selected to a different league, basically a different time, a different age in Path of Exile, to where this map or these maps and these completions no longer apply. But it'll show you in this little gray spot underneath whether or not you've got the bonus objective completed or not. And again, it even shows you your unique maps and how many of those that you've got in each tab. If you want to sort, you can always sort. You can simply sort by tier 2, and then it's going to show you, hey, here's where all your tier 2 maps are. If you want to sort by tier 10, hey, how many tier 10 maps do I have? I've got 6, which is great. It's an awesome function. All right, checking out the Essence tab. This is what the Essence tab looks like. I actually don't have any essences to upgrade. Oh no, that's terrible. But what you can do is you can select the upgrade action, and it'll let you know whether or not you've got 3 of any particular essence or more in any one of these slots, and then you can upgrade it into the next. I've actually got 3 Deafening Essences of Torment, but you can't upgrade it anymore. It's at the top tier, which is kind of funny. All right, so here's what the cards look like. So we can sort by all, and we can see that we own some of these cards. You can also zoom in, zoom out along this little slider here just to see whether or not you own cards, or if you want to see cards more up and close. You can sort by full stack. These are all of the stacks of cards that we've got so far collected in Standard that are at full stacks. And then, again, you can simply show owned. Just show me the stuff that I have. And then you can sort by unowned as well, which is great. All right, if you wanted to see my goodness, one last thing, just for fun. Whenever you move into Standard, there are going to be these tabs that say remove only. So just so you know, this is just like some bonus tip. Just so you know, these are remove only tabs. It means that you only can remove stuff from it. It means that once I select something from this tab, it cannot go back into the tab. So that's just a little bonus piece of info there. Let's just destroy those. Go away, boots. Anyway, so those are the different tabs that are available in Path of Exile that you can purchase using, of course, their in-game money, which you can purchase, of course, with your currency dollars. But I think by far, in my estimation, the currency and the map tab are the 2 best value. The fragments are also great. The divination cards are also great. But if you just wanted to throw those into a regular stash tab, you could. And again, really, you could do all of this in just regular stash tabs that the games provides. It's really great that there's such a wonderful free-to-play aspect to this game where it is not pay to win, but that there are things that you can do to improve the quality of life if you want to support the game that you dump thousands of hours and your soul eventually into. So there you go. Hopefully that helps you get better and helps you have a better grasp on the different options that you've got for your stash tabs in Path of Exile.